to break up the contraption. That means Tifnumbu won't be president. And Tifnumbu being president is the reason why this bigotry, this ethnic, trolling and baiting are very much rife on social media. So, if you want a country where there will be no Igbos or no particular kind of tribe, right? Then you would have to push for the breakup of the contraption. Break it up. Right? And then issue visas to those who are going to visit your country. What are you going to do to those who have mixed parentage, by the way? And that in itself is the reason why the right people should be interested when it comes to leadership sort of stuff. It's unfortunate that they have so much compromised system that has discouraged a lot of, good thinking, mindful people to seek political office and do the right thing, right? So this system has become so compromised, right, that good people have to stay away. Nobody want to be. That's why you have the worst of the worst currently representing them. And of course, doing the worst that you can think of, the worst of the society. So, the good people, I'm talking about people with the right mindset, would have to venture into the arena. You have to take up the leadership mantle when the clarion call is made, right? If Yoruba land is gearing towards a breakup, their own independence, right? So the characters of people that are going to really push that will determine if we are going into a xenophobic country or a very much progressive country, as progressive people, which Yorubas are known for centuries, by the way. It's unfortunate that a druggie, a certificate forger, somebody who has no real heritage or whatever it is that you can trace to him, right, has managed to garner enough miscreants, never-do-wells, sewage dwellers, the bottom barrels, the voluntary slaves, the humbled slaves, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all-risers. I'm talking about the bad idiots, the bad stats. So somebody like that has managed to gather them, and now they are working so hard to make themselves the face of this Yoruba land. So the right-minded people can't continue to look away or get bullied or gaslighted away. So that is why, to those of you who are kind of like concerned, like, hey, man, so if we have a Yoruba nation now, is this how these kind of people that are going to be in charge of the place? Well, me, I don't want a Yoruba nation. So if we have Yoruba nation now, the likes of Tifnumbu, the likes of Gbewiri Daniel, and people like that, they are going to be the leaders of. Me, I don't. The reason why they can't or they won't is when the right-minded people actually show the interest in the leadership. I'm not asking you to go and join their politics now, because that in itself, right, is like a feeding the meat grinder, kind of like dead your character, become, bring out the wickedness in you, the evil in you, then you fit in, or else they would have to sacrifice you in the long run, because you're going to be a cog in their wheel. You get what I mean? That is a rotten system. But when we mount pressure enough that we replace these miscreants, pretending to be representing Yoruba land, fumigate these sewage dwellers, these ethnic bigots, these tribal betas, these trolls, who are doing everything enough to destroy family value, family chains, and all of those heritages that we used to be so proud of. Call them extended family. Do you know what that means? This means that you are accommodating other members of other families to build a larger family. But that's what they are ruining. You know, bastards who have no real, clear, defined parentage. They are defining family on social media. They are pushing it enough that the right-minded people are either just like too principled to get involved, or they are just too scared to be involved. Either of the two. So on Mayegun's Diary Politico every afternoon, we are going to be having conversations like this, in which experience does matter. Okay, like you don't tell someone else's story. You tell your story. What has been your own personal experience, including the good ones? Because I don't want to believe that it's all negative. You know, because I come from a family, right, that we are so extended, we are so kind of like big. From my mom's side, from my dad's side. And in all, I can just like randomly just speak about 2 or 3 members of my family who got married into my family from other tribes or other ethnic nationalities. And there was never a time, maybe I was too young to understand, all right, but there was never a time within that family circle that I suspected anybody being discriminated against simply because they are not Yorubas or whatever. Never. So there are people who grew up that way, but I am not of mixed parentage. So I may never be in the best position to say, oh, let me give a statement, or let me give opinion. Do you get that now? So, but when you are of a mixed parentage, you are watching all these kind of rhetorics and this conversation around, right? There are some of us who can handle it all. Don't get me wrong. There are some of us who believes that, well, it's all politics, Jerry. You know, I mean, it won't really get to me. Now, this may not be for you. You see, those who have actually been discriminated against, you know, you walk into a place, hang on, you walk into a house, you're a member of your family, right? You walk in, and then everybody just stop talking. Now that, don't get me wrong, that can happen in any kind of circumstance, okay? It doesn't have to be because you are of mixed parentage. But I'm talking about when you walk in and then you realize that everybody stopped talking, right? Fine. And then they started making passes at you to make you look like you are the odd one in their midst. So that must feel somehow, you know? Or those who have actually told you to your face, you this Omoibo. And you're like, why are you calling me Omoibo? Right? My name is Adeyemi Adeola Edmond Oguntuwache. So the Edmond, as well as Ifeanyi, which was given to me by my mom, because my mom is Igbo, right? He said, right, so why are you talking to me like that? Why are you calling me Omoibo? Because they want to keep reminding you that your mama na Igbo and your papa be Yoruba, so you are not fully one. So people who have experienced this can share theirs. And there are those that will be like, no, I want to hear. I could be very much, you know, I could be having problem with my line. Okay, so if the line is not letting you call in, right? Well, I can keep you sort of like, you know, busy, keep giving you instances. And when the time is up, we can call it the afternoon. Okay, so I'll take a short break and I will be back in a minute or two.
Not in one occasion, 2, 3, 4 occasions. And today, he says succumb in compliance with this social directive of court that should be discharged and affected. They should be released. So, and 12 has been released. So we are still following up to ensure that the remaining ones who are still in custody are released. So that I can assure you of that, because they've been instead of all the frivolous charges against them, leveled against them by the state. So, and I do not think they have any reason to stay kept detained here. They'll be out soon. Thank you, and thank God for the grace for them to see this day. At least they are free persons today. Yes. They are free. And I thank God for their freedom. You can see they are smiling. They're happy. Thank you.
Please, madam, what do you have to say about it?
I want to say a very big congratulations to them. It is not easy to be in the correctional center for over 5 years. It is not easy. And thank God that today, finally, the state was able to say that 12 of them should go home. And we are very much grateful. And we will not stop until we see that each and every one of them are released.
Thank you so much.
Please, can one of you people tell us why?
We thank God today by releasing us.
You mustn't speak English.
So Igbo, kwi wonyi Igbo.
I can let you cook that.
So
I
Igbo
can
nam.
let you cook that. Mani o mu meranye. By ejofo, ega release anye na Ebonyi State for 4 years. I know na this prison. So I know can let you cook that jama. Siko shi kwamere anye nwa, kome kwada ndi nke foro aforo. Na let you cook that jama.
Biko, onwe nwe ike ikwu maka ndị nke fọrọ afọ.
Enwe ndidi n'obere oge na ahịa apụta. But now,
this child go happen with your house. Matter of fact, we everybody that way. Some are anyone from now. I got no place to yeah. Some when did it, yeah. So you see the guy goes on, yeah.
Thank you for
Last time,
I want to say we are happy that my children is found.
Thank you.
Something about that place as well, right? So those were the IPOB members that were illegally kidnapped, then locked up, imprisoned, denied legal representation until this year. 5 years ago, they've been locked up, transferred to God knows how many of those prisons. And what is the offense? The offense was that they are asking for a democratic referendum to decide if the Igbos are still going to be part of Nigeria or they will have their own country. It is democratic. There is nothing wrong in that. Those who are interested in staying in Nigeria, they will vote no to Biafra. Those who wanted to leave Nigeria, they will vote yes. If more people vote no, the Igbos will remain in Nigeria. That's the process. If more people voted yes, good, the Biafra will become Nigeria's neighbor. That is also democratic. But rather, the Nigerian criminals, the murderous Fulani terrorists, Bokwari, decided to criminalize self-determination campaign. And they've been picking up every young man, woman that they could see that could enter their nets, and they have been locking them up. And you know something, right? They won't allow them to go to court. But every now and then that they appear before a judge, they always throw out the case. You get me? Like, you lock people up for like years. The last time they took about 107 women and girls from Imo State, Anambra State, and Rivers State, Obibo. 107. And they locked them up from Imo, Rivers, Anambra. They took them to Suleja in Niger State. And they locked them up there. They forgot them there. Nobody cares where they were. So when their lawyers was to kind of like push their case before a court, they said, "Did you know where they were?" The lawyer said they didn't know. They asked the police, they said they didn't know. They asked the DSS, they said they didn't know. So they started doing prison to prison search. So it took them almost 18 months, 1 year, 6 months before they found them in Suleja, in Niger State. The first day they appeared before a court in Abuja, the court freed all of them. Because there was no evidence to actually charge them for anything. No real evidence, no nothing. You just pick them up and say, "Oh, you're IPOB, you're IPOB, you're here, so yeah, enter car." And those are the lucky ones. Those unlucky ones have been killed, gone down in an extrajudicial, evil way. So those ones who have been locked up for 5 years. And the allegation was that the IPOB members. You know? But that's them anyway. They've been discharged, acquitted. Their court says they've done nothing wrong. You know? So Bokwari and his gang that abused their power, which is what the contraption does anyway. So they've abused their power, they've gotten away with it. Tinubu is doing his own right now. It's going to get away with it as well. But it is the aftermath. Look at it today. The Fulani terrorists, when they were reigning supreme during the height of Boko Haram's power, as they were giving them money, they were also trying to change the law of the land, to allocate lands for them so that they could have their own local government areas in the heartland of Igbo land, Yoruba land, which is an aberration. It is an abomination. But because Boko Haram felt so powerful, he pushed it. It was to take over all our waterways and give it to this Fulani terrorist around the time. But we kept reminding them that, listen, this whole thing is going to boomerang. And when it does, Boko Haram won't be in power. Because the indigenous people that these Fulani terrorists are killing, one day, there will be, there's likely going to be a Moses who doesn't know a Pharaoh. I mean, how did they talk about Pharaoh? We don't know Moses. Okay, Moses we don't know Pharaoh. So whereby to be a Fulani person in Nigeria will kind of be like a taboo. No matter how rich some of them have become or how powerful they think they have. I just gave you an example of a Danjuma there. Danjuma. Dajupa. Today, Danjuma has joined the whalers, calling on the government to please protect the people. His own people. He can't even protect them anymore. It doesn't. I'm talking about defense minister. He wasn't just any other person. A defense minister today is screaming about just like a retired vigilante, kind of. So a day is also coming, whereby the table will turn. It's just unfortunate that the camera won't pick up on the people responsible themselves. Okay, so those who are pushing the hatred because of Tinubu right now, and to them they are doing the right thing, because I read it somewhere where one of them said, we must not agree, we must not agree for them. We must not agree for them. You see all that thing where these Igbo people tried with Boko Haram, you see, we cannot let them try it with us, the Yorubas. They were always abusing the Fulanis. They are always abusing them for doing that throughout the Boko Haram time. They are always like attacking this and that. So we must not allow that. We must give it to them fire for fire. We must, I've seen that on social media. This Ronu coups, like it is a clarion call for them. I'm gonna. Where am I getting this call? 788. I'll be back in a minute. I saw a lady's rant. Hang on. I'm going to be back in a minute. Let me take this call, okay? Please don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a minute or two.
70 years old man.
Jesus is Lord.
Continue. 70 years old man.
Jesus is Lord.
Continue.
Shock you. All right. Anyway, so as I was saying, right? So those who are now saying that they are fighting for Tinubu because he's a Yoruba, and therefore they can create all forms of all kind of animosities, division, and name it. We won't let you succeed, okay? Because the atrocities of Boko Haram was defended by you mofos as well. So I remember before you metamorphosed into this your Ronu gang, you were pretty much the same Buhari Deans, Buhari Diderins. The Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Unguziaris, the Unekaharis, You've always been that. And you've also been victims of the same failed contraption. But because You know, because you, like others, like, you know, like the way they see others as well, right? So the Ronukus are just numbers, you know? They are replaceable. They are disposable. And I think that's how they treat the rest of the contraption as well. Like Nigerians, and they are just numbers, John. Just number. Nigeria is just number. So you get. So we need to care for our children. We need to care for, we need to care for ourselves. We need to care for our children. We need to care for the society we are also creating as well, okay? So the hatred they are